Somewhere deep inside your walls, or moving silently under your porch right now, is a creature. It navigates your world, relying entirely on scent. But here's the secret almost nobody talks about. Certain everyday plants emit chemical signatures absolutely terrifying to a rat's entire nervous system. They will physically alter their daily routes just to avoid them, not because it poisons them, simply because of the scent alone. You've probably spent a fortune on those little green pellets and wooden snap traps. It's totally exhausting. You wake up and find droppings. You feel like you're losing a turf war in your own home. I get it. We've been programmed to think we need chemical warfare. We rush to the local hardware store for solutions. But your grandmother's overgrown garden? It might have been doing the heavy lifting all along. Today, we're stripping away the folklore. We're looking at the raw molecular truth of 7 specific plants. Modern biochemists now understand the exact reasons. They know exactly why medieval monks and ancient farmers relied on these plants. They used them to protect their winter food stores. We're going to break down the science. Stick around, because the last plant on this list is an absolute game changer. It grows anywhere. It asks for zero maintenance. It may be the single most effective natural rat deterrent that exists. That one is absolutely worth waiting for. Before we get to the plants, you have to understand one fundamental truth. Rats are not brave little explorers. They are profoundly terrified of risks. Every single time they enter a new space, their nose does a threat assessment. Is there a cat here? Is the air toxic? If a space smells wrong, they don't stick around to investigate. They just turn around. Makes sense, right? The plants weaponize that exact fear. Planted strategically around your home foundations, compost heaps, or vegetable patches, they work. They create an environment rats simply refuse to exist in. Let's start with peppermint. Close your eyes. Think about that sharp, icy blast when you smell peppermint oil. Refreshing for us, invigorating. For a rat, it's like breathing glass. The active ingredient is menthol. It hits the cold-sensing nerves in their brain extremely hard. It causes physical distress. Stay with me here. It's not just a bad smell. Peppermint oil pumps out chemical signals of severe toxicity. A rat's brain screams at them to run. Ancient Romans actually wove it into the roofs of their grain silos. Plant peppermint tight along the base. Put it right where the pipes go in. It spreads like crazy. You want that. A solid wall of peppermint is an invisible electric fence. Just trim it often. Cutting the leaves releases a fresh bomb of those oils. Next is lavender. Sweet, calming, sacred. That's our human translation. To a rat, a lavender bush is a blaring biohazard siren. The compounds inside are linalool and camphor. They are totally mild to us. But when you plant a thick hedge of it, those chemicals stack up. They trigger pure irritation in a rodent's entire respiratory system. Lab animals trapped in lavender-heavy rooms show massive stress spikes. French farmers didn't plant it by the kitchen window just for the nice view. They knew rats refused to nest in it. It loves terrible soil and blazing hot summers. That lines up perfectly with peak rat breeding season. Put it near your walkways. It's a beautiful, well-behaved guard dog. Here's the crazy part. Marigolds, those cheap little orange flowers at the garden center. Don't underestimate them. Aztecs, English colonists, African farmers all used them. Why? Thiophenes. It's a heavy, sulfur-based chemical. To us, marigolds just smell bitter. To a rat's hypersensitive nose, it's a sulfur bomb that fries their nerves. But the real magic is underground. The roots sweat out a poison. It ruins the soil for pests. And all rats love to dig. When they hit that root zone, it burns their mucous membranes. Plant them thick. One single flower does nothing. A solid row along your fence? That is a literal chemical blockade against them. Now, if you want aggressive botanical warfare, look at wormwood. It's violently bitter. Humans can taste it at 1 part in 70,000. But rats process that bitterness right through their nose. The oils inside, specifically thujone, are actually neurotoxic in high doses. Rats aren't stupid. Evolution hardwired them to back away from that scent immediately. They want to avoid accidental poisoning. Ancient Egyptians used it 3,000 years ago. They used it to guard the grain. It thrives in terrible dirt. Plant it by the compost heap. Just keep it away from delicate flowers. It plays dirty and naturally kills neighboring plants to protect its own turf. That's exactly the kind of bouncer you want. That's aggressive, but it's nothing compared to the perimeter guard I'm showing you at the end. Stick around for that. We're halfway through the list. You probably have this next weapon sitting in your kitchen right now. Think about garlic. You crush a clove on the wooden cutting board. That sharp sulfur smell hits the air. That's allicin. For you, it triggers an appetite. For a rat, it triggers a literal panic attack. Rats rely on sulfur scents to track predators in the dark. When they hit a wall of garlic scent, their brain hits an alarm. They don't have to learn to hate it. They're born terrified of it. Because the bulb is underground, the chemical payload sits exactly right. It sits where rats tunnel and dig. Plant it thick around your vegetable beds. It protects the perimeter and feeds your family at the same time. Mediterranean farmers didn't wait for a peer-reviewed study. They just planted rosemary next to the barn because it worked. Rosemary pumps out heavy mist. It releases 1,8-cineol. It's a dense chemical fog that repels a massive range of wildlife. In the summer heat, a mature rosemary bush bakes. It literally bakes its own essential oils into the air. Because it's evergreen, it works through the dead of winter. It gets huge too. Put it at the corners of your house. Every time you brush past it, releasing that heavy pine scent, remember something important. That exact smell has protected human survival for millennia. And finally, the heavy hitter, elder. Most modern advice ignores it completely. Big mistake. Across old Europe, you never cut down an elder tree near the house. It guarded the root cellars. Here's why. The leaves and bark contain compounds. They release actual hydrogen cyanide when they get damaged. We're totally fine around it. But a rat's nose picks up that chemical danger instantly. It's a hardwired survival instinct to flee. Elder grows incredibly fast. It takes over the fence line. It gives you flowers for syrup. It gives berries for your immune system and asks for zero attention. Just plant it at the edge of your yard. Walk away completely. Let it do its job. Nature isn't random. Every scent is a street sign. We just forgot how to read them. Those old farmers learned. They didn't have lab equipment. They had something much better: survival. If they got it wrong, their families starved in the cold winter. They watched. They learned. They found the botanical borders that rats simply refused to cross. We lost that knowledge somewhere along the busy way. We traded it for plastic snap traps and toxic pellets. Science isn't inventing this right now. It's just proving what our ancestors already figured out. Peppermint at the foundation, lavender on the borders, marigolds guarding the vegetables, wormwood on the fence, garlic in the dirt, rosemary by the doors, elder holding the outer line. There's no perfect magic bullet for rats. They are intelligent and stubborn. But planting these isn't just basic landscaping. It's tapping into a million-year-old conversation between plants and animals. You aren't fighting nature. You're teaming up with it. We didn't invent this knowledge. We just remembered it. If you want to keep remembering the forgotten mechanics of nature with us, hit subscribe. Let's plant the future together.